Now, from WCIA3 News.
A person is dead and 3 others hurt in a 2-vehicle crash. Other school and community are responding to that incident. Plus, the police department is relieved to announce some changes when it comes to crime, what they're doing to keep their community safe.
And it's the middle of summer, but some people are talking plans for fall. The decision on uniforms in Decatur.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA3 News at 10.
Heart goes out to the people who it's close, like their immediate family, everything like that.
An entire community is reeling after a deadly crash. It happened this morning. The 16-year-old driver died this afternoon, and others were seriously hurt. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm McLeod Hageman.
And I'm Jessica Coons. It's not just immediate family members who are feeling the pain of this morning's tragedy. People across central Illinois are offering prayers to the Central A&M students who were hurt in that crash. It happened this morning on Route 51 at Leafland Street in Assumption. WCIA3's Marley Capper went by the high school today. Marley, how is that community holding up?
You don't have to live anywhere near the accident to have this situation really pull at your heart. Today, I spoke to 2 freshmen who say their classmates were involved and that they're scared for them.
I just woke up and looked at my phone and I saw a ton of people texting me.
What should have been another summer morning.
And telling everyone that there was a really bad accident and some of our friends gotten hurt.
Was anything but for Central A&M students.
They're all going to weights in the same car. Football weights, I believe.
State police responded to this spot in Assumption around 6:30 a.m. They say 4 teenage boys were stopped at the stop sign, then pulled out into the intersection and were hit by a truck. The truck driver was not hurt. 3 of the teens were airlifted to the hospital, and a 4th was taken by ambulance. One of the victims, a 16-year-old from Assumption, has died.
When I just heard it, I didn't really realize the gravity of it, or how real it actually was.
I am definitely scared for my friends. I'm definitely sorry about the entirety of this, that happened, especially to people who are so young.
As the news of the crash spread, the school opened the library for the community to gather and mourn.
It was just sad. Everybody there was, well, I guess it felt good that everyone was there together.
It was nice to see that people were coming together to get behind a terrible tragedy that happened, but just a really saddening mood.
The principal says his messages are open for students who need somebody to talk to. The Moweaqua Fire Department also encouraged people who are needing help to reach out. We're waiting on the condition of the other students. Jess?
All right, Marley, thank you so much. Other news tonight, several people were forced from their home after a fire. That happened this morning near Nathaniel Birch Drive and Bradley in Champaign. Fire crews saw smoke and fire coming from a second-floor bedroom when they got there. They were able to quickly contain the flames. Investigators are still looking into how the fire started. Police are investigating a shooting that left a teenager dead in Danville. Officers responded to a shots fired call near Davis and Hazel Streets last night. They found a 14-year-old boy lying on the ground. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. The Danville School District is offering counseling tomorrow from 9 a.m. until noon. An Indianapolis man is charged with making a terrorist threat. John Armstrong was a patient at OSF in Urbana when police say he started making threats against the Veterans Administration Medical Center in Indy. They say he told staff and police he was planning to pick up a bomb when he left the hospital to blow up the VA. His bond was set at $1 million.
New for you tonight at 10, Champaign police reported a 51% drop in shooting incidents this year compared to the same time last year. From January through July of last year, there were 145 shooting incidents. So far this year, there have been 71. The city of Champaign says it's because of stronger community collaboration combating gun violence.
The community is helping big time. We cannot do our job without the community. So the reason why we're so successful as a police department is because our community members are more engaged.
So far this year, there have been more than 21,000 calls for service. A news follow-up story for you tonight. The Decatur School Board decided to change the dress code, removing school uniforms. The vote passed unanimously. The recommended replacement dress code is loose in terms of colors and types of clothing. It does prohibit hats or any clothing that could be considered hate speech. Based on research and feedback, the Discipline Action Committee recommended the dress code to be gender neutral.
Some tense moments in Rantoul tonight. As you can see, dozens came to a board meeting to talk about a controversial plan to spend some of the village's COVID relief money. It would give every household a utility credit. WCIA3's Scarlett O'Hara was there. She's live in the newsroom now. Scarlett, we expected a final decision on this tonight, but there was a turn of events.
The plan was approved. Board members passed it 5-1, but Mayor Charles Smith, who has openly opposed the idea, surprised everyone when he said he was vetoing and that they'll meet again.
Certainly you don't find a lot of items that are as controversial as this one.
The Rantoul Village boardroom was packed as people waited for the trustees to vote. A trustee proposed using a quarter of the village's COVID-19 relief money for a program that would help people pay their utility bills. Every household would get a $300 credit. Since then, the village has been divided. Mayor Charles Smith extended the time for public comment to allow more people to give their opinions, and over a dozen spoke.
And what's money to benefit everyone in this community, this credit will do exactly that.
Most of them hope to see the boardroom approve the program. They said with inflation and lasting impacts of the pandemic, the credit would help a lot of people.
I drive for a living. I know what a tank of gas costs. The $300 to me is 2 days of driving.
All but one board member voted to approve the program.
It did pass because it's what the people need.
But Smith says he plans to veto their decision.
As the mayor of this community, I hereby veto this motion.
He says it's a temporary fix and compared it to a Band-Aid.
Who turns down a Band-Aid on a wound? Who does?
He and others feel the money could be better spent elsewhere. They would rather use the money on long-term infrastructure projects. Administrator Scott Eisenhower did not give his opinion, but he says the program could cost people more tax dollars down the line.
What then is going to be the cost to those same individuals when we have to go out and take a bond for the electric grid upgrades or the wastewater plant improvements or the water treatment plant improvements? And so are you really gaining in the long run?
Members of the public spoke at tonight's meeting about another controversial item on the agenda. All but one trustee voted against allowing cannabis business licenses in Rantoul. Live in the newsroom, Scarlett O'Hara, WCIA3, your local news leader.
All right, Scarlett, thank you. A months-long project started this week on a busy road in Urbana. It's happening on Windsor from Race Street, going west to Wright Street Extended, or the Champaign-Urbana line. This project will include asphalt surface removal and replacement. Public Works says both eastbound and westbound lanes will be periodically closed, but one lane of traffic will be open in each direction throughout the project. It's not expected to be done until the first week of October. There's a new leader at the Illinois Department of Public Health. Pediatrician and health policy expert Dr. Samir Vora was picked for the job. Vora replaces Dr. Ngozi Ezike, who stepped down in March. Vora holds degrees in both law and public policy, and he's set to start on August 1st.
Some good news for golfers. What championship event is coming back to Central Illinois this week?
And a new mural is up in Champaign where you can get a glimpse of this student-curated artwork.
All right, Kevin, we have some relief in the forecast.
Yeah, it feels a lot better out there tonight. Next few days look good. We've got a little bit of rain to show you, but also soon that heat is going to return. It's a nice calm evening out there, though. High temperatures today made it into just the low 80s. We'll come back and talk about, again, that rain and the warmer air when we come back.